Pablo Escobar. Even after years of his demise, the life of Pablo Escobar draws people's attention. Do you know how much he was worth back in the day? Do you know what happened to his luxurious mansions after his death? In this video, we're going to look at Pablo Escobar's abandoned secret island mansion. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and turn on the notification bell to never miss an update from our side. So without further ado, let's jump into the video. Pablo Escobar was born into a poor Colombian family, but by the age of 35, he earned a profit of over $420 million every week, making him one of the world's wealthiest men. At the height of his dominance, Pablo Escobar, the original El Patron, supplied 80% of the world cocaine market through the notorious Medellin Cartel and possessed a number of renowned properties. Escobar was a man who always got what he wanted, when he wanted it, how he wanted it, and from whom he wanted it. He was well known in the town for his illicit actions, including theft, early in his life, but that was only the beginning. He rose to the peak of the infamous Medellin Cartel, smuggling over 15 tons of illegal narcotics into the United States every day at one point. La Isla Grande, an island beyond the bleached white tourist beaches deep in the Caribbean Sea, whose way of life has mostly stayed unchanged for decades, is completely cut off from the modern world and has no running water or electrical power lines. The island is home to more than 800 fishermen and women. However, this remote island attracted the attention of one vacationer who built a palace, which is now abandoned. That vacationer is none other than the infamous cocaine king, the original El Patron Pablo Escobar. The abandoned mansion sheds light on the lifestyle of Pablo. The rotting remains of the cocaine king's lavish island party mansion are hidden among the tropical jungle in the Caribbean Sea. To relax from the hardships of operating international crime and drug trafficking organizations that spread across the world, Pablo and his narco-terrorist allies built luxurious villas and nightclubs on the island. His estates have been left to be reclaimed by the island's vegetation and tropical surroundings since his death in 1993, when he was shot in the head by the Colombian police as he tried to flee behind his bodyguards on a rooftop. These serene light blue indoor quarters with Romanesque arches appear to have been once quiet places to relax with a drink of iced tea. Still, within these gates, Pablo and South America's most powerful men would have no doubt plotted some sinister business. Escobar was known for his plata o plomo model, in which he either accepted his silver as a bribe or received his lead in the form of bullets. There was most likely a bathroom with a feminine touch. Escobar married 16-year-old Maria Victoria at the age of 26. The marriage lasted until Escobar's death, as did his romances with other girls. There was a guard's lookout house, which was a little cabin near the mansion, occupied by a squatter today. The Colombian government now controls the islands, but tourists can now rent canoes and paddle right up to the former drug lords' houses, a boat ride that would have seen them shot on sight 20 years ago. Escobar was one of the world's wealthiest individuals during the height of his reign, earning up to $20 billion per year. He certainly lived a high life with 15 private jets, 6 helicopters, and too many expensive cars to count. In fact, his brother Roberto Escobar has stated on the record that his brother used to spend over $1,000 a month on the rubber bands that held their money together. Isn't that insane? They had so much money that they had no choice except to bury it. He was so wealthy that he had trouble keeping his money. Rats were reportedly consuming up to $1 billion of his cash in storage each year. Escobar's brother, mother, and the chiefs of the famed Medellin and Cali cartels, who entered the rich, beautiful, and corrupt on weekend vacations, had villas on the holiday islands. Despite the fact that coral is a highly protected marine species in the area, one of Escobar's men's villas was made entirely of coral lifted from the surrounding Caribbean Sea. Remnants of the drug lord's privileged lifestyle, which includes a private bullfighting ring, swimming pools, tennis courts, and even one of the drug smuggling planes that now rests on top of the entrance gate, can be seen today. Since the passing boats and planes overhead are no longer delivering drugs and money, locals are now providing tours around the island in an attempt to cash in on Pablo Escobar's story, which continues to fascinate the world. More than 200 animals lived in Escobar's private zoo, including elephants, ostriches, zebras, camels, and giraffes. Escobar's drug jets were used to smuggle several of the creatures into the country. The majority of the animals were relocated to zoos after his death in 1993, but 4 hippos were left behind. They quickly multiplied, and by 2016 the region had over 40 hippos. They began destroying fields and instilling fear among the residents. As a result, authorities started sterilizing male hippos to keep the population under control. Escobar earned the nickname Robin Hood for his philanthropic actions, which included construction of hospitals, stadiums, and houses for the underprivileged, as well as the sponsorship of local soccer clubs. Do you know what happened to Pablo's primary residence? Hacienda Nápoles in Colombia was interestingly converted into a public amusement park, open ever since 2008. Escobar's luxurious mansion on the island was called La Casa Grande, which means big house in Spanish. La Casa Grande is located in a Caribbean forest deep within the island. Only special boats from Cartagena can take you to this island paradise, which is only a few kilometers long. Asking around for directions to La Casa Grande on the island is your best bet. You won't find directions on the internet, and there won't be any signs leading you in the right direction. After a few hours of hiking, you'll come across an abode, and when the trees begin to clear, you'll come across an old pathway that leads to the stunning white walls of La Casa Grande. Or what's left of it. You know, La Casa Grande hasn't gotten the same attention as Escobar's other estates, and you're unlikely to see anyone inside. This is because the Colombian government gained ownership of Escobar's properties following his death, and they've been neglecting La Casa Grande for years. The plants that have taken over practically every inch of the estate, whether outdoors or indoors, can be seen throughout the grounds. If you take a walk around the once grand gardens, you're likely to see wild pigs grazing on vegetation and enjoying their midday meal. In its prime, the spectacular mansion could have been worth $5 billion. In some ways, it's a tragedy that such a magnificent structure has been deserted. Remember, this was supposed to be a party house, the summer resort for the Medellin Cartel's chief. Over 300 completely equipped and elegantly designed rooms were available for guests to visit and party in. Each of Escobar's guest rooms had a golden shower in the bathroom. Hence, it doesn't matter when you're worth $30 billion. Getting to La Casa Grande used to mean taking a luxury speedboat or flying in by helicopter. Escobar was also known for having plenty of bodyguards on the side, all of whom were trained to shoot anyone who entered the grounds without permission. Here are a few of the mansion's odd-looking windows, which could have been for security or was an interesting 80s fashion statement. Leave your guesses in the comments section if you know what these strange-looking windows are for. Whether you believe it or not, the majority of his massive wealth is still buried in the earth, with reports claiming that millions upon millions of dollars are still waiting to be discovered. That brings us to the end of today's video. What do you think of La Casa Grande and its present state? Do let us know in the comment section. Before you go, if you enjoyed the content, make sure to like the video, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell to stay updated with us. See you all with yet another exciting video. Till then, goodbye.